So let's start with the first problem. So in this problem, we have that H is a subgroup of G. This is provided. And another thing we have that the two right cosets of H in G is again a right coset of H in G. So this is nothing but HA into HB is equal to, so the elements of this set will look like somewhat like this: H1A, H2B, where H1 and H2 belongs to H. And according to the question, this is HC for some C belongs to H. Why we are writing like this? Because the product of two right cosets of H in G is again a right coset of H in G. So based on this information, we are writing this equation. So now this is the main observation, that is H1A into H1B belongs to HA into HB is equal to HC. So now we will write H1A, H2B is equal to H3C. So this H3 is for some H3 belongs to H. Now we will take that H1 into this side and the B into this side. I will tell you why we are doing this. So AH2 equal to H1 inverse H3 C B inverse. We just take this H1 and B inverse in the right hand side. Now you can see that H is a subgroup of G. So H1 inverse H3 will also belongs to that group. So H1 inverse H3 will also belongs to H. That means for some H we can write that AH2 is equal to some another H CB inverse, that is AH2 belongs to HCB inverse. I hope that you understand up to this. Now we will go for the next part. So we took a random A and H2 from H. That means all the left cosets, that means the AH will be a subset of this set H C B inverse, because all the H2 elements of this group AH will belongs to this HC B inverse. Now note the thing that A belongs to H, A always belongs to this H, and A also belongs to this HCB inverse, because H is a subset of HCB inverse. So if A belongs to H, then A will also belongs to HCB inverse. Another thing is that also A belongs to HA. That means we have one A, that A belongs to H, and that A also belongs to HA, and this A belongs to HCB inverse. So based on this, we have that AH is equal to HCB inverse equal to HA. That means all the left cosets and the right cosets in H are same. This is the fundamental definition of the normal subgroup. So based on this, we can say that we proved our problem. Thus, H is normal in G. So let's start with the problem number 2. In this problem, we have that G is a group and H is a subgroup of index 2, that is this, and we need to prove that H is a normal subgroup of G. So it is saying that H is a subgroup of index 2. So what does it mean? It means that there are exactly two distinct left cosets and right cosets. Exactly two distinct left cosets and right cosets of H in G. So this is what first we will write, because writing is extremely important in this kind of problem in abstract algebra. Distinct left cosets and right cosets of H in G. Now there's maybe like if one is H, one of the left cosets is H, then another one will be G minus H. That means all the element except the elements of H. Now let us take an element A belongs to G. Now suppose this A belongs to H. There are two options. Either this A belongs to H or this A will belong to this G minus H. So first we suppose that A belongs to H. If A belongs to H, then AH equal to H. And since we have only two distinct left cosets or right and right cosets, that means that AH equal to the another cosets will be HA. So if this happens, we know from definition that H is a normal subgroup. And if A belongs to G minus H, that means that if A does not belongs to H, then AH is not equal to H. And similarly, HA is not equal to H. Because A does not belongs to H, then thus this AH cannot be equal to H. That means AH is equal to G minus H. Because there are only two distinct left and right coset. So AH equal to G minus H, and similarly HA will be G minus H. Again we came to the conclusion that AH equal to HA. That means that if you take any A belongs to G, we'll always come into this result that AH equal to HA, and this is the basic definition for all the left cosets and right cosets of H in G are equal, then H is a normal subgroup of G. This is the definition, and from that definition we proved that H is a normal subgroup of G. Thanks. So let's start with problem number 3. In this problem, N is a normal subgroup of G and H is a subgroup of G, and we need to show that NH is a subgroup of G. One can easily show that this group NH is not empty, because for the identity element E belongs to N and E belongs to H, we will have another E, that is the identity element belongs to NH. So thus this set is not empty. Now we will show that any element like N1 H1 into N2 H2 belongs to NH. That means when you show that the subgroup, how to show that a group is subgroup of G. Suppose A and B belongs to H, then we need to show that AB belongs to H and also the inverse. That means A inverse also belongs to H. If we can show this, then this will be a subgroup. So first we will take N1 H1 into H2. Now N1, H1, N2, and we'll put another H1 inverse and H1, H2. Remember that H1 inverse H1, that is E, so we can easily put that here. Now remember that N is a normal subgroup of G, and H1 belongs to H, that means H1 belongs to G, that is H1 belongs to H implies H1 belongs to G. That means that this element H1, N2, H1 inverse is also belongs to N. This is from the definition of normal subgroup. So H1, N2, H1 inverse also belongs to N. We can consider this as any other element like N1. Let us consider this as N2 dash. Let H1 N2 H1 inverse is equal to N2 dash and H1 H2. Now N1 N2 dash belongs to N and H1 H2 belongs to H. That means this belongs to NH. So the first part is completed. Now we need to show that the inverse also belongs to H. So first we will take another element NH. NH belongs to that NH group, and NH inverse, we need to show that this NH inverse also belongs to this NH. NH inverse equal to H inverse N inverse. Again we will put another trick here, that is H inverse. Now again if you look carefully, this N inverse belongs to this N, that is the normal subgroup, and H belongs to H, that means it belongs to G. That means H inverse N inverse H, it also belongs to the normal subgroup, that is N. So we will replace this by some N dash H inverse. N dash equal to N inverse H. Let. So it is again in the form of NH, N dash H inverse. This is also belongs to NH. Thus NH is a subgroup of G. So we use this two property. If A and B belongs to H, then AB belongs to H. This is this part, and A inverse also belongs to H. This is this part. So this is the solution. So now let's start with problem number 4. In this problem, we have that H and K are two normal subgroups of G, and we need to show that H intersections K is also normal in G. Now, in order to show that this is a normal subgroup, first we need to show that this is a subgroup. So how we will show subgroup? First we will show that this set is not empty. We know that that the identical element belongs to H and E also belongs to K. So E will also belongs to H intersections K, because this is the common element. Thus this set is not empty. The first part is done. Now the second part, we need to show that if we take A and B belongs to H, then AB inverse belongs to H. This is the finest property of subgroup. Now let us take two elements, that is A comma B belongs to H intersection K. We will show that AB inverse belongs to H intersection K. Now as A and B both belongs to H intersection K, this means that AB belongs to H and AB belongs to K. This implies AB inverse belongs to H. Also this implies AB inverse belongs to K. This is from our definition of subgroup. And as AB inverse belongs to H and AB inverse belongs to K, This implies that AB inverse also belongs to H intersection K. Hence, H intersection K is a subgroup of G. This part is simple. Now for the third part, we need to show that it's a normal subgroup of G. So for that, we'll take G belongs to G, an element, and N belongs to H intersection K. And we'll try to show that G in G inverse belongs to H intersection K. If we can show that, then we are done. So first G belongs to G and N belongs to H intersection K, means that N belongs to H. Also N belongs to K because N is the common element in this set. This implies, now remember, H is a normal subgroup, K is a normal subgroup of G. That means G in G inverse belongs to H and G in G inverse belongs to K. Now G in G inverse is a common element of H and K. This implies G in G inverse belongs to H intersection K. Hence, H intersection K is a normal subgroup of G. So this is quite simple, but you need to write this properly in order to get proper marks, and you need to understand the theory properly. Then you will be able to understand it. Now let us start with problem number 5. In this problem, it is given that H is a subgroup of G and N is a normal subgroup of G. And we need to show that H intersection N is a normal subgroup of H. You need to show that it is a normal subgroup of H, not G. So first we will show that this set is non-empty. This set is clearly non-empty because E belongs to H and E, the identity element, belongs to N. This implies that E belongs to H intersection N. That means that at least one element is there in H intersection N. Now we need to prove that the subgroup property. What we will do, we will take A and B from the set H intersection N and we will try to show that A, B inverse belongs to H. This is our aim. Now if A and B belongs to H intersection N, this implies A and B belongs to H and A and B belongs to N. This implies AB inverse belongs to H. This implies AB inverse belongs to N because these two are the subgroups of G, H and N. That means that AB inverse belongs to H intersection N. Now look that H intersection N is a subset of H. This implies AB inverse belongs to H. Thus the group H intersection N is a subgroup of H. Now for the third part, so now we will prove the third part. So in order to prove that, we have to notice that since N is a normal subgroup of G, we have H in G and G inverse belongs to N for all G belongs to G and for all N belongs to N. We will use this. So first, if you state that X belongs to, any X belongs to H intersection N, and this H intersection set is a subset of H, and take any H belongs to H, and since H is a subgroup of G, we will have H inverse belongs to H. Now you may wonder what is happening here. So as H belongs to H, this implies H inverse also belongs to H because it is a subgroup, and that means X is an element of H. So H inverse also belongs to H. and H is another element belongs to H, so Hx H inverse belongs to H. This is the same property, that is, if A and B two element from H, then AB belongs to H and A inverse belongs to H, then H is a subgroup of G. This is the same property that we are using here. And for the next part, X belongs to H intersection N. This implies that X belongs to N. That means H intersection N is this set is a subset of this set N. And for any H belongs to H, this set H is a subset of G. That means H belongs to G. And look now, X belongs to N and H belongs to G. That means for all N belongs to N and for all G belongs to G, that means H belongs to G, we will have Hx H inverse belongs to N. This implies from 1 and 2, this is 1 and this is 2, from 1 and 2 we have Hx H inverse belongs to H intersection N. And this is the property for normal subgroup. That means that H intersection N is a normal subgroup of H. So I hope that you understand this problem. Thank you. So now we have problem number 6. In this problem, we have a group that is abelian, and we need to show that every subgroup of that abelian group is normal. Let the group be G, it is abelian, and H be any subgroup of G. So what we need to show that for all G belongs to G, comma H belongs to H, G inverse belongs to H. If we can show that, then we are done. So now take any G and H from H, G inverse. Now as you can see, H is a subgroup of G, and this H is also an element of G, and this G is an element of this G. So these two elements will commute with each other because this is an abelian group, so GH is equal to HG. We will use this property, that means G inverse, and G inverse is equal to E. So this is nothing but H, and this belongs to H. This implies that G inverse belongs to H. So every subgroup of an abelian group is normal, and H is also normal. So in the next problem number 7, you need to show if the converse is true or not. So we'll discuss about the converse in the next part of the video. Till now, you should think and comment about it. Thank you.